Hi, welcome to Prog Will Find a Way, our podcast all about progressive rock. I'm Jay Valade,
I'm Jonathan Block.
and today we're going to talk about It Bites, which is a band from England from the late 80s through the 90s.
Was it late 80s to 90s? I'm never.
The timeline.
They were post the.
Yeah, Big Lad, and their first album came out in 86.
Okay, so they were past the neo-prog movement.
Yeah. So they kind of came out and they were like this kind of a pop prog sort
That's
of
the way,
feel,
it's a good
right?
way. Yep, I agree.
They had like hit single sounding things,
Yep.
but they also took them in a different direction, which kind of made them
Right.
more proggy.
Right.
So the band was Francis Dunnery was guitar and vocals. They had Bob Dalton on drums, Dick Nolan on bass, and John Beck on keyboards. That was the core of the
Right.
band. I have
original band.
Yeah, I have even more stuff if we want to pause.
Okay.
I have all the singles.
How did you first hear them, or where did you first hear about them, or hear the music?
So we have a mutual friend who was writing for Rolling Stone and various music magazines that she introduced me to It Bites. I think it was the second album
Okay.
that I heard about them first, and so she had like a promo copy of something, and we started listening to them. I'm like, these guys are really good. It was the keyboards and the drums and the guitar, and
Right.
then the movement of everything that made it kind of fun and interesting.
Yeah.
To listen to. How about you?
I believe I saw the first album in a store, in a CD store. It could have been anything. I want to say Cutler's. So the reason it was on Virgin, and it had the first one, is that the
Big Lad and the Windmill.
So it was on Virgin, right? And
Yep.
And it just, the album cover had that kind of classic Virgin 70s look to it. So I was like, huh. And I must have read about the band somewhere. So I bought it, and I was like, I've mentioned this before. I mean, this is in the 80s, that you could, at least I was liberally stretching the definition of prog.
Yes.
Because it was so little.
There was so
little of it that something like this, I was like, okay, clearly, it's on Virgin. Yeah, the songs are short, but there's some real interesting stuff here. So that's how I heard the first one. The second one, I believe, I heard or got either at Secret Sounds, because that was 87 then.
Yes.
Or at Brass City Records. It would have been one of either of those. But I know that Chris had them because I know I got the third album from Secret Sound.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
I had him order for me because it had like the bonus tracks and all this stuff.
Right.
So their first album, they had a bunch of singles off of it.
Yeah.
I think Calling All the Heroes became a hit for them.
Yeah.
Which was,
right,
for 1986.
Yeah.
England, and it was a good song.
And you have singles.
All in Red's on the, yeah, of course.
Jay's got a lot of It Bites.
All in Red, I think that's it from the first album.
Okay, well, what's the B-side of All in Red?
All in Red came out with Heartbreaker on the backside, and that's a non-LP.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's not the Zeppelin tune, but you never know. Let's see if it's got the credits on here. It's written by It Bites, so it's their own tune.
So, yeah, so this was the first single that I have of theirs. I don't have Calling All the Heroes.
Okay.
But, I did find
I mean, yeah, someone probably played the song too, but it was one of those, and I was like, oh, okay, this is good. And the second album, again, whoever I bought it from, I heard it first. They had a promo or something, and we're like, oh, here's a Prog thing, here's a Prog thing.
Yeah, of course.
And threw it on, and I was like, wow, this is even better than I said, this is even better than the first one.
So yeah, the second album is like the definitive for me.
I think that's the general opinion of everybody.
But it does have there's some rock songs
Oh
on
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and it's like
It's a
all over
wide
the place.
variety, but you know the songs that have a prog bent to them are very
Yeah,
proggy. I guess that's the
yeah.
thing.
Yellow Christian
Yeah, of
is
course.
like
That's
it's
yeah. It's got all the touch points.
that once
Yep.
around the world, which
Yeah.
15-minute track. I mean, come on.
Right. And at that time,
No
what
one's
else
doing that.
what else did we
So
have?
Steve Hillage produced this.
Yes.
So they it's got Midnight, Kiss Like Judas, which is a great song. Yellow Christian, Rosemary, Black December, Old Man and the Angel, Hunting the Whale, Plastic Dreamer, Once Around the World. It's a really good, well-rounded late 80s prog record. Because
And
it hits, the songwriting is
yeah.
really good, the hooks are really good, and the way they move through the music is really good because it's not by the numbers songwriting or playing.
Yeah. I mean, it's still an album that occasionally I'll be like, I feel like hearing
Yeah.
this, and I'll put it on.
So when this came out, they sent the promo Kiss Like Judas edit to radio stations with a big question mark on the.
And not because it was a cover version by Question Mark and the Mysterious.
No, it was so that they would get people to play it without judging it.
No
ahead of
prejudice about the band
So,
name.
which is kind of an interesting take
Yeah.
on how to do
and
that.
this is on Geffen, right?
Yeah, then they Virgin Geffen. So
Well, there was no, this
you
is
would think
crazy times.
you would think that they would have gotten a little more traction. So from this album,
but they were so again, we're obviously here in the States, so the fact that that we could go into stores and it wasn't like, oh my, you had you could get their stuff here, so
yeah,
they were very popular at the time.
yeah, that I got a
in
promo,
the UK,
a
but
promo CD.
but yeah, it wasn't like they were just some. They had their moment. And Francis Dunnery, who, so a lot of stuff says it bites. I don't know if he was the principal songwriter or if they,
It says all titles composed by It Bites.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't know what that means, right? That could mean a lot of different things, but regardless, Francis Dunnery was the lead vocalist and guitarist, and he has his own podcast series where he talks about these days and he goes in depth about what's going on. And it's first of all, he's a very good storyteller.
He is.
He's very, very good. So
I recommend listening.
Yeah,
to
they're
his
very
podcast.
entertaining. And besides going through all
talks
the
about
well, and he also
lot.
talks about things that the rest of his career. He spent
because he
many
wasn't
years-
just It Bites.
No, he wasn't just. He spent a number of years playing with Robert Plant,
Yeah.
and he talks about artists that it didn't really work out too well, and his Genesis audition for
His John Mellencamp
Yeah,
story.
the John Mellencamp story. So it's excellent, humorous, and to be completely honest, like I was into It Bites. I heard some of his stuff, the solo stuff through the years, like Helicopter particularly. There were things that were more popular. And he was always in the States, so I don't know if he moved here at some point.
I think he did.
Okay.
Because I saw him at Toad's Place.
Right, he
solo
was,
acoustic.
He
It was great.
He was around a lot, but I never read interviews with him. So I knew nothing about it. I just liked the music. And then it was through these podcasts, the video casts, where because I think the Genesis one, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then just from the first moment, I was like, oh, this is a real, down to earth, funny guy who doesn't take everything, who takes the music seriously, but doesn't take everything around it seriously. Or he takes it as serious to the level that it actually deserves. It's very refreshing. And he just it's just you're sitting listening to him. It's really, but you can really get some interesting in-depth stories about the formation of the band and what they went through, getting signed.
Yeah.
It's really, really fascinating stuff.
So we got which one is this? Kiss Like Judas?
Yeah, Kiss Like Judas with Staring at the Whitewash.
Yes.
As the B-side.
We have Midnight, which has You'll Never Go to Heaven live on the back.
At the marquee.
And Old Man and the Angel. Talk about a Prog cover.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that could be a Marillion cover, right?
Right.
At the time, the Old Man and the Angel, backed with castles.
Yes. So I really liked that album. I thought that they were going to take off. I thought it was going to be oh, the next album's going to be even better. So the next album comes out, and it is called Eat Me in St. Louis. And I'm like, okay, boys. Um, it's a harder edged version of It Bites. It's a bit more rock and roll and a little less prog, despite the Roger Dean album cover. So they've got Roger Dean as the album cover. I still don't get the album cover. It's not one of Roger. The graphic is nice, but so this came out as a regular CD with 11 tracks on it, and then a separate little EP with 3 extra tracks on it. So you had your regular, and then you had one of those mini CDs, which was back in the day kind of an interesting moment of CDs that kind of disappeared after a while. So this has these 11 songs. There's some really good songs on here. Like Still Too Young to Remember is great. I love that. Ice Melts Into Water I like. Underneath Your Pillow I like. Let It All Go I mean, there's good songs, but it just doesn't hold together like the last album did for me. So I saw them. They toured this with Tull. They were on the Rock Island tour. So I got to meet them. I was with this friend who introduced me to It Bites.
All right.
And I took pictures and the whole thing. It was kind of fun.
If we find some of those, maybe we'll.
I have them in the basement
all right.
somewhere. So that was their third album, and
I like that album as well. I find it interesting. We actually both purchased the deluxe version from the same store. Probably the only time.
It's probably the only two copies he ever bought.
I mean, it wasn't like the last one, but I kind of liked it.
They're still on Virgin at this point.
Yeah, well, in the UK, right?
Yeah. So this is the album. This is the single cover for Still Too Young to Remember. If that was the cover of the album, I think I would have had a different.
Is that a Roger Dean cover too?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's got this. What's interesting though is that this. Some of this Roger Dean stuff is like the modern. This is like the bridge between, because then when he started doing the later Asia stuff and
this is '89, right?
Okay.
So this is the same time as Anderson Broof for Wakeman now.
Okay, forget it. Scratch that.
But I have another copy.
Vampires on the B-side.
Yeah, I have another one with a different sleeve of the band instead. So yeah, different band shots. Then Underneath Your Pillow was another single.
Same album. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And Sister Sarah, another single from that album. They were trying.
They were
putting stuff out.
Bullet in the barrel.
Yeah. So then they put out a live album that kind of put a cap on it. That was the end. Thank You and Goodnight. The end of the story for It Bites.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why the band ended at that point.
Francis talks about it in one episode. I can't remember.
But then he has his whole solo.
Yeah,
career.
I mean, clearly they got either they didn't have their contract renewed, probably couldn't get a deal, or didn't like whatever deal, or
happened.
Could have been internal.
And then to finish it off, they put out this live album just to fulfill the contract, probably. Now, so this was 1991.
Okay. Now, were there any compilations that came out?
So there was a compilation that came out, the Virgin albums, A Whole New World, It Bites, and it's the 4 albums.
All the 4 original albums.
4 original albums.
Interesting that they
put the Virgin, the original version,
the Tubular Bells label.
But it's all in one spot.
Yeah.
So I had purchased this. I don't think there's anything extra on this.
I don't believe there is.
There are. There's a few songs on each one that are extra. Strange But True, Black December, and Calling of the Heroes, Screaming on the Beaches. I think these are live versions.
Okay.
And then Staring at the Washed Kiss Like Judas and Midnight extended version. I think, again, extra tracks on that. And like they added Castles.
Oh, okay. So the B-sides. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they do the full
Full,
thing
all
there,
the
and
all the
yeah.
yeah, and then
So
the
this
live.
came out in 2014, which was obviously 20 years later after the
Right.
or whatever,
But you got it all in one place now.
14, 15 years
You
later.
got the whole catalog
Yes.
in one
Um,
nice package.
So then Francis embarks on a solo career,
Yep.
which I have a bunch of his albums, and that can be a different episode. But and It Bites gets back together without Francis, and they put out 2 albums with John Mitchell as the
Okay.
lead singer.
Okay, so it's the 3 other guys.
3 other guys at the beginning, and I
beginning,
think
yeah.
by the time it was over, Bob Dalton
Had a
or
different
Dick
drummer.
Nolan,
Okay.
the bass players, stopped
Okay.
playing with him, and now the final or current is John Mitchell, John Beck, and
Okay.
Bob Dalton. But I don't even know.
I don't know if
I think
they're-
that was as of 2024.
Yeah,
I don't.
and that
Somebody,
right, because
Francis, the way
now-
Francis talks about John Beck is like, I don't even know where he is.
Right.
I don't even know how to get in touch with
Right.
him. So,
But yeah, so and besides, isn't John Mitchell in Asia now?
John Mitchell is in every.
But he's in
current
Asia,
Prog
right?
band.
Okay. But so
He was in
it's-
Kino
okay.
with Pete Travis
Right.
from Marillion. He was in It Bites. He has his Lonely
but
Robot.
this version is not active at this time.
Not that I know.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
the
Francis,
last album that
right?
they had
But
was,
Francis has the Francis Dunnery It Bites.
yes.
Okay.
And I don't even know
I don't
their current status
right.
is.
Well, I think I believe the way he talks, they're still active.
Yeah.
But
These 2 albums I enjoyed.
yep. Okay.
They don't really sing It Bites to me, but
Right.
they because Francis was such a driving force
Right.
of the original. But they're really good prog that in
Okay.
the same vein.
Yeah.
Have you listened to these? Or
I may have. You may have.
it's years ago.
Yeah. Well,
I
you
mean,
may have shared it with me at the time, but I certainly haven't before.
The second
or-
album
or
was like
that.
2006, so I mean we're
That's
talking a while ago.
20 years ago.
Right.
So just take the It Bites name off, and it doesn't bite. Maybe they should.
So my general feeling was they had this little 3. They were like it's like a time capsule of. It was like a moment, and
Yeah.
they had some really good songs, and I really enjoyed them when they were around. I've tried to follow them, but it's hard to get some stuff doesn't show up on streaming.
Yeah.
Francis announces that he's got this, that, and the other, but you have to buy it from it. And I'm like, I'm not mail ordering stuff at this point.
There's no central location.
Right.
There's a lot
And
of
when
moving
and that's
parts
what
there.
happens when bands go off major
Well,
labels.
right,
You
yeah,
kind of
you
and you
can't-
have to be a diehard fan to.
Right.
Which obviously I
Right. Or you.
I was at some point.
Yeah.
Because I got all this stuff that I've
Right.
kept.
Or you're a big enough musician that the major label or whatever you're on everything's going to be, or you own your own, you own your stuff. That's part of the thing
Yeah.
too. So, but I agree with your assessment. I mean, they had a good 3 or 4 years. I mean, there's nothing to shout, nothing to sneeze at at all. It's
Yeah, if you
every
have,
band
if
should
you
be so
haven't
lucky.
heard
Eye
them,
of the
you
Needle.
should
Yeah.
start with Once Around the World,
Yeah.
and then
go back to the
then go
first
back.
album, then listen to Once Around the World again, and then keep going.
and then
And it's
listen to
only 4.
Easy
Yeah,
Answer.
it's only four. And if you can find any of the other,
Yeah, and then
the
end up with
newer-
the last 2, but start with the original.
yeah. And we'll cover because you have a number of Francis's releases
Yeah.
too. We'll cover those in a different episode.
Yeah, he has some fun things that he put out, which are not they're not. It Bites had more of a prog leaning than Francis does, because
Right.
he kind of becomes more of a songwriter.
Yep.
Singer-songwriter.
And he's had
kind of thing. But there's some rock stuff that.
Oh yeah, he's
sure.
had a very interesting career.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to talk about that. All right.
And Lynx Drinks
Oh,
was
yes.
our beverage of
Beverage
choice
of
today.
choice.
The Lynx Drinks canned cocktails.
So we did
So
not
good.
have beer. We
Yeah, this is the first.
this
A
is-
first.
Well, it's summer and hot, so we figured we'd try
American life
something
in the
else.
summertime.
There you go. Prague will find a way.
If you wanted to.